Alright, well, video number one seemed to turn out okay, so I'm going to try video number two. For some of you guys who were looking at that last one wondering, okay, you saw the tracks, you're just kind of wondering how I made different sounds on different tracks if it's all on a computer. Well, I'm going to show you a little bit, and trust me when I say little bit, this is just like scratching the surface here. But I want to show you a few of my instruments. They're called virtual instruments. They're also known as software synthesizers. It's all software, but you'd be amazed at how some of this stuff sounds. Like, for example, yeah, you can still record guitar and vocals and stuff into your computer, and I'll probably save that for another video. But some of these programs already come loaded with software instruments, and you can buy them from like Guitar Center and stuff like that too. So here is one called Mini Grand, and it is just what it sounds like. It is a miniature grand piano. Now I can play it with this mouse. You can see the cursor there. You hear how that sounds? Or I can use a controller. These down here that I showed you earlier, no sound comes out of these. These just trigger. Here's some more controllers here. All they do is trigger whatever instrument I tell it to. So right now, you can see where my hands are. That's just left-handed, sorry about that. But you can see when I push keys here, you can see it up here. And also, one thing that makes it easier to control, you might see some of these knobs up here on the virtual instruments, and you're thinking, how do you turn those? Well, there's something on here called, well, I won't get too deep into it, I'll just show it to you. I can either adjust the volume or adjust these knobs with my mouse, or with one of these controllers down here. Now you'll see what happens when I turn this knob, and you see what it's doing. So that saves from having to keep your hands on the mouse the whole time. You have to click on this and do something called MIDI Learn. You'll see the little window pop up in a second here. There it is, where it says Learn. You click on that, and then the next knob that you turn controls it. So it's kind of a cool thing. Now I can also, that's just one instrument. Trust me, I've got a billion on here. I've got another one called Vanguard. It's one of my favorites. Why? Because you hear it on the radio all the time and you don't even know it. If you've ever heard this, then you've heard Vanguard. Okay, I've got another one. It's kind of a fun drum machine that I have. It's called, real simple, it's called Boom. Why is it called Boom? Because it's a drum. Aren't you listening? Check this out. I can either play keys from here, or I can play them from here. You can see they're all assigned different, whoops, I don't know if you saw that. You kind of get the gist there. Or you can play patterns like this. Camera's moving, it's just me dancing, sorry. So again, one of my favorite drum machines. I've got about 10 of them. And anyway, that's kind of a very crude explanation of how some of these instruments work. Now the next video I make, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off, but I want to show you a little bit about how I can put the guitar into this computer also. I'm going to show you. You might be used to seeing guitar amps on stages, but now they are in computers. This is just a look at it to give you a little sneak peek at what I'm going to try to do. I don't know, I've got two hands, an iPhone and a guitar, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to pull that off. So it might be a while. But this is an example of a virtual amplifier. And trust me, if I turn this up, every piece of glass in this house will shatter. It is mean. And this is all on a laptop, by the way. But you can see times are changing just a little bit. So that's an example of a virtual amplifier. The ones earlier are called virtual instruments, and my battery is running low, so I got to wrap this up. But hopefully that'll give you a little sneak peek at how I do what I do, and hopefully I can add a couple more videos to this later. With that said, Happy New Year.